Howdy folks, today we're going to be watching a video from the Primeagen called End Game Keyboard. Just go ahead and jump in here.
So I've talked to the Characorder person, and I would like to look at this for a second. This is the new Master Forge, a keyboard built for you. Let's watch this, because I think this could be pretty interesting.
Introducing the world's most advanced keyboard and mouse replacement, here to create a new standard for the digital age. The Master Forge can do everything your keyboard can, and much more. Experience hyperfluency and access any possible input without your fingers ever breaking contact from the device. Instead of traditional 1D switches like a keyboard or typewriter, the Master Forge features 3D switches so you can react quicker, type faster, and accomplish more with less effort and less repetitive strain. It's not just a keyboard replacement, it's a keyboard revolution.
I love the idea of this, but it is a significant leap in just like basic human fluency that I think this would be really, really hard to do. I get it that being a stenographer, you're typing just way faster. And it's true, this is the most efficient input. It is. It's truly much, much better. Skate 3 would be wild, and yeah, but it's such a hard, I love the fact that they're trying to make fetch happen, and maybe fetch does need to happen. But still, this seems kind of crazy. Neuralink is faster. I'm skeptical of the Neuralink thing for quite some time, just because there's formatting, there's positioning, and I'm curious if that could actually happen. You know, I'm sure Neuralink will happen eventually. I'm sure within 20 years it will happen, but that's still a long way off. And then you have to have the average person having Neuralink and all those things. Now, eventually, one could imagine that at some point in the distant future, this kind of stuff will happen. I'm sure it will. But right now, that's nowhere even close. In the distant future, it makes sense. Nah, too much to process. I don't think it's too much to process. I'm sure there will come a point in the distant future. Again, I'm assuming several breakthroughs have to happen. And maybe it's 20 years, maybe it's 50 years, maybe it's 100 years. Maybe maybe World War III will happen and we'll bomb ourselves before it ever even happens. But I don't bet on those kind of things, okay? It's the same reason why I don't bet on AIs or anything else, is that I don't bet on all these difficult problems to be solved super quick, because it seems really, really hard. But this, on the other hand, is like, hey, would you like to instantly improve how fast you type? And by instant, I mean a very arduous process of learning how to type on this keyboard. And then once you do learn how to type on this keyboard, you can then go like 400 words a minute. I mean, it does sound pretty exciting. Part of me would love to take a week off and do nothing but typing tests and just like vibrate my little hands on it. And then just get so fast. Oh my gosh. It'd be so sweet.
Forged and
Alright, so a couple of points that he brought up there. Starting with Neuralink. This is something that gets brought up a lot. Is basically, why would I learn to type this way, to type at the speed of thought, when Neuralink will be able to do this one day. I agree with Primetime here that we don't know when that's going to happen or if that's going to happen. The fastest brain-to-computer interface right now when it comes to text entry is very slow, is much slower than the average keyboard user. So the idea of stifling or just being complacent and not trying to push forward the boundaries of human-computer interaction because, Elon Musk is going to just put this chip in all of our brains in every single human being's brain one day, and it's a huge stretch. It's a big leap, and I'm not worried about it. I also think there's a lot of opportunity for corded entry, fluid corded character entry, to help in the training of human brain interfaces. So if you look at the experiment where the monkey is playing Pong with his brain, the first step to getting there is to record the monkey's brain activity while they use a normal interface device. In this case, the most simple one you could imagine is just up and down, moving that paddle, back and forth across the screen. And once you're able to read that brain activity, which is probably quite specific to that monkey in particular, then you can start to train that model and eventually lead to the point where you unplug the input device and then just remove it altogether. And I don't know what the brain activity of a human being using a device like the Masterforge looks like compared to somebody using a keyboard. And that's something that I think could be quite interesting. The Masterforge is unique in that every individual input is very specifically and immutably tied to an individual finger as well as an individual muscle motion. And in the brain computing interface world, there's something that is known as micro movements, like just very, like you're sort of imagining yourself jumping, helps to prime that brain activity as you're training the model. And I think those little twitchy style motions is pretty much what Caracorder already is in the first place. Whereas if you look at a QWERTY keyboard, like if you were imagining yourself typing, trying to train one of these models, a different finger can be used to hit a different portion on the keyboard depending on where that letter in the word is, or it's the spatial relativity of your fingertips to the caps is changing all the time because your fingers are flying all over the place. So I think and this is purely speculative, I think there could be an advantage of isolating specific muscle groups as well as specific fingers attached to those inputs. So open invitation to the Neuralink team if you want to read my brain activity or the brain activity of Caracorder users. I think that's something that is at least worth exploration. Stepping back a little bit, the observation was made comparing this device to a steno writer, and I think honestly that the average person doesn't fully understand how a steno writer works. I get why the comparison is made because this is a cording-enabled device, but in reality, it's a lot closer to a QWERTY keyboard than it is to a steno machine. If you want to learn more about those core differences and the design intent of both of the devices, I do have a video called, A Brief History of Corded Text Entry, which does a pretty good job, I think, of explaining that. Maybe I'll post another update on that topic too. We've had some rich discussion on it recently in our Discord.
It'd be so sweet.
Forged in the heart of Texas, the Masterforge features an aerospace-grade aluminum exoskeleton cladded with Picatinny.
By the way, that's cool. I like that. The Kinesis Advantage, my personal favorite keyboard as of right now, has a nice steel base. Literally could kill people with it. And so I love keyboards that come equipped with the ability to also turn into a murder weapon. I think it's a requirement for a proper keyboard. I don't want a keyboard that when I swing it, all the pieces go flying off. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I want. I want a keyboard that's sturdy, that's going to actually be deadly. John Wick developer. Yeah, exactly.
Style dovetail railings for next level customization.
It's beautiful.
Quality unprecedented.
Very beautiful keyboard,
category.
by the way.
Wield the Masterforge as a true extension of yourself with any number of electromechanical bolt-ons.
That plugin looks horrifically inconvenient to get to. I assume the bottom must be hollowed out so I could get my finger in there, because I got small hands, but man, that looks like I don't want to go digging in there. Okay.
Yeah, that port is not for your finger to go into. It's the width that will allow the jacket of the USB cable to pass through. But yeah, if you rewind that animation, you can actually see it hollowed out there. I won't go back. We'll keep moving.
I don't want to go digging in there to try to figure out how to get this USB out. Does not sound fun. Let's see. How can you even hit 400 words a minute? That's multiple words per second. Are people actually thinking at that speed? I think generally people can think up to the speed of 800 words per minute. How fast in words per minute can human think? We think in 1,000 to 3,000 words per minute, according to PR Daily. While the average, it falls within 400 to 800. Yeah, okay. So I wasn't crazy when I said 800. I thought I heard about 800. I can do 10,000. I can do so many. You don't even know, right? So I don't know if any of these things are true. Also, thinking is kind of a weird thing to relate to as words per minute. It's just an odd measurement, generally speaking. When I say that is that, how do you describe an image in your head? An image is worth 1,000 words. I think 1 to 3 images per minute. It just feels like a weird measurement, generally speaking, to measure something that's a combination of images and words, both spoken and unspoken. I know some of you don't have an inner monologue. Still freaks me out, okay? You're an actual NPC. But for those that have inner monologues and are...
This is such a good point. And I'm always talking about how insufficient words per minute is as a metric in general for human-computer interaction. But yeah, even when it comes to text entry, once you introduce chording, words per minute is... it's so easily gamed. It's so most typing websites will measure, well, I think all typing websites. If you look up the formula for words per minute, it's not what you think. It's not words divided by minute. It's characters per minute divided by 5. And that's because the average word length in the English language is roughly 4 letters plus a spacebar. But once you're chording a 2-letter word and a 10-letter word, if you have one chord for both, is the same speed. So then you measure the words per minute of both of those, then you're 5 times faster for something which is the same amount of effort, both mentally and physically, as the other thing. And even when you get to phrasing and briefs, and he mentioned images, yes, you could have a chord for a particular GIF. You're not limited to words when you use a keyboard for so much more than just words. Only 26 of the 100 buttons on a full-size keyboard are letters. And so when we talk about the speed of thought, he's absolutely right here that we're just going so much further beyond typing, so much further beyond words per minute.
Are normal humans. We think in images, and we can hear ourselves talk and reason through problems. So it's both the slow process of hearing ourselves talk and the fast process of coming to inspiration. Like, how do you even think about inspirational things? You know how you're thinking about a problem, and then in a moment, it's almost like you are able to see the problem in a completely different light. It's like you don't even know how you got inspired. How many words per minute is an inspiration or an epiphany? 420. It's about 42069.
The Masterforge is your tangible bridge to the digital world.
Oh, I
You can
love
adapt to any scenario, both outside and inside. The Masterforge comes standard with a built-in platinum carry-quarter engine core. We're setting a new bar in market-leading performance, featuring a plug-and-play driverless operating system and an embedded arsenal of intelligent capabilities you won't find anywhere else.
Anti-ghosting, routing style, HID keyboard schema, USB hub ports. Interesting driverless OS. I wonder if there is any problems when it comes to being hacked. I really don't want my char recorder to get hacked.
Current market-leading keyboards may provide you with a handful of customizable keys. But with the Masterforge, every combination of keys is customizable. That's more inputs at your fingertips than human beings on planet Earth. Why settle for the artificial?
Wait, say that again?
Keyboards
Sorry.
may provide you with a handful of customizable keys.
I got distracted by ASCII art.
With the Masterforge, every combination of keys is customizable. That's more inputs at your fingertips than human beings on planet Earth.
Oh, that makes sense, because
Why settle?
there's 5 possible positions of a key: left, right, up, down, and depressed. And then there was 4 and 2, 4 and 2. So 12 plus 4 on this side, 16. So 16, 5 to the power of 16. I have no idea what that number is, but it's a very, very large number. But I guess you also don't have access.
Roughly.
You only have 10 fingers. So there's only potentially so many different combinations.
For the artificial, when you are capable of supernatural intelligence. Whether you want to push the limits of the...
By the way, you're only capable of natural intelligence. One's in line with both your ability to be connected to the keyboard, to see it as an extension of your own body, the rate in which your spinal cord refreshes, and your brain power. I hate to break this to you. You're probably average, like me.
The idea of supernatural intelligence from an input device is very interesting, and the terminology here is in some ways is a bit rebellious to artificial intelligence, and that trend at the moment is not relying on computers to always do things for you, but rather on elevating your own personal competence and capability to the point where you can outperform a human being that has not adopted that technology. And I think of this input device here, which is sort of blurring the lines between what is a keyboard and what is a computer, as an extension of my brain in a lot of cases. There's pieces of memory that I don't have to store in my brain because I have a cord associated with it. For instance, addresses or spelling would be a very simple example. There's a lot of words that I can't spell when I type them one letter at a time, but I do have a cord for that. The recent video that I put out regarding compound cording as well as dynamic libraries, I think also is a good extension of that concept, which we're just starting to scratch the surface of as far as its overall potential. But the idea of sort of creating these folders within your mind and being able to compartmentalize and modularize information more efficiently, I would say does give you supernatural rather than artificial intelligence.
The impossible? To create what others believe unimaginable. To take your game to the next level, or to type at the speed of thought. Unlock the next level of human-computer interaction.
Dude, that is pretty sweet,
with a
by the way.
Master Forge.
See, like, I want that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I want that.
Take your game to the next level, or to type at the speed of
I
thought.
want that. Look at that.
Unlock the next level of human-computer interaction with a Master Forge.
This is probably quite bold to say, but I'm going to say it. I think there's a high probability. I am quite optimistic, probably the best way to put it, that this content creator may love this product. I've been following their content for over a year now, I think was our first interaction. And every time they make something related to keyboards, I watch it. The challenge that our company faces is so much more of a cultural challenge than it is a technological challenge, that sending our product out for reviews is not the same as it is your average tech company, because it requires such a dedication to learn how to use it. Like, we can't just send it to Unbox Therapy. Sure, they can take it out of the box, they can talk about the amazing build quality, they can talk about this and that, but if they're not going to sit down and genuinely learn to use this, if they're not going to make it their daily driver, then it's pretty surface level. So the intersection between people that genuinely are interested in learning to use this technology and talented influencers, like, there's not many. I don't know if there's any right now. Maybe there's one right here. We'll see. So it's exciting that he is covering it, that he's interested in it, and regardless of whether he does a review on it, regardless of whether he likes it or not, I definitely want to send him one for free. I believe our first interaction was on Twitter. He had said he wanted to learn for 1 week and try and hit 100 words per minute. And we had responded saying that if he does that, we would donate X amount to charity. And then just he and I jumped on a quick call. It was a good call, high energy call, I would say. He shared his rates, which were completely fair. And then, I don't know, some other projects came up, and I don't remember how exactly it fell off, but it never happened. So maybe now is a good time, now that we have some new stuff coming out, to potentially reignite that. The challenge still stands. We will definitely still honor that. But regardless, I would love to send him one, just because I think he is genuinely interested in it, and I think that he will give it an honest chance.
To Forge.
Hey Kickstarter, as many of you know, our company has deep roots in this community. We're excited to be back today, not just to launch a new product, but an entirely new product ecosystem. As much as our users have loved our first generation devices, this year we're taking things to a whole new level. We strive not only to establish new standards in human-computer interaction, but also new standards in transparency. That's why we post video updates every single week within our YouTube and Discord communities, where you can ping me or other team members at any time. So even if you're not able to back our campaign today, you can still join the conversation and help shape the future of Forge Keyboard. Dive into our free web-based learning tools and other open source projects on GitHub, build custom tools with our Open Serial API specification, or build custom bolt-ons with our Open Access CAD repo.
I do have to say that's pretty dang radical that they put every single part of their stuff open source effectively, and you can just build stuff. Very, very cool.
You can even build your own fully featured CCOS-powered device using the Caracorder Engine chip module. When we say that Forge is a keyboard built for you, we mean it. Just like you, Forge Keyboard has infinite potential inside and out, and there's no limit to how far we can take this together. Thanks so much for watching, and we can't wait to send the Master Forge to your door soon.
To be fair, he didn't realize he was going to be talking to Twitch, and so maybe he wouldn't have used the term infinitely capable. Perhaps maybe a less of an extensive one. I've always been very impressed by Caracorder. I think that they have really cool stuff. The guy and I have talked many times about doing something together. I just have a lot of hesitations about taking the time to actually learn how to type on a Caracorder.
Yep.
That's my biggest hesitation, is that when I switched from QWERTY to Dvorak, that was really, really hard. So to be able to go from just standard button input into little massagey pulsating input, I can find myself thinking this could be a struggle. It feels really difficult. Yeah, it took me months. Hold on. Tio. Are you actually, Dr. Milhouse, are you actually using a stenographer-styled input? Oh, months to learn Dvorak. I was like, damn, he's using one. How was it? Maybe a half an hour a day? No, that can't be right. It's really cool. It took a really long time. Has anyone actually here learned or used Caracorder? I did use one. You did use one. Okay. I use a Caracorder 1 as my main keyboard. No. Really? Yeah, I saw Strager did it. The quality was a little too low. Mine kept breaking. Okay, so the original Caracorder was not as high quality. This next one looks really nice. He typed in 0.1 milliseconds. I had one borrowed and got to about 100 words per minute before I decided I didn't particularly enjoy using it over a custom keychron. Really? Did you not feel like you had even more potential to go up to like 200? Caracorder. Oh, it's pronounced Caracorder. Okay, Caracorder. I'm still learning Caracorder. The advantage is that you're not forgetting QWERTY. This is actually, okay, so that is such an unsung bonus right here. Yep. So one thing that I found to be really shitty about learning Dvorak is now that I know Dvorak, it's really hard for me to become useful again on QWERTY. Like, I think it'd take me like 2 weeks of solid QWERTying to be able to get back into it, which kind of sucks. I can't just go to someone's keyboard and use it. I'm like, right? Like, it's hard. If I were to type over here on this one here, I'll type on my QWERTY keyboard right here. Hey, how is it going today? There we go. Like, that's not good typing. Okay, that was sorta fast. See, not that, like, I'm not good at QWERTY anymore. Whereas on this one, it's just so much easier to go, that was sorta fast, right? It just feels easy to type and say. Not bad. Is there a better advantage to Dvorak? I switched there because of my wrist pain. Let's see, I'd rather enjoy typing than go ridiculously fast. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you just didn't like the process of it, even despite reaching the same level. Was it still a lot of mental overhead reaching that level? Interesting. You do anything about your wrists? I did worked out more. Dvorak, Kinesis. Kinesis was my largest jump in wrist pain reduction. That's why I have been using it for so long. I use the Moonlander to in customized QWERTY. Yeah. Okay.
So two quick thoughts. He's absolutely right that the muscle memory you build using a 3D input style device is so much different than on QWERTY that you don't lose your muscle memory on QWERTY. Going back to that is, sort of like riding a bike. I was, probably, 100 words per minute, not super fast on a QWERTY, but I didn't lose speed by using another input device. I never have to use a QWERTY anymore, but if I go to somebody else's computer and I need to use it, that's no problem. That being said, for those that are worried about the 3D input aspect of the device, there is a QWERTY version of Caracorder where you can still chord, and that's called Caracorder Lite, which is also Dvorak compatible. So for anybody who is super anxious or hesitant to try and relearn how to type completely, that's a way that you can get started with fluid corded character entry and not, sacrifice. Or you start where you're already at. There's no, you don't have to worry about the return on investment or training up to that point where you can finally pass your QWERTY speed.
Okay. Very cool though. This keyboard is actually super cool. I am excited to see where it goes, if it actually delivers, if the Master Forge actually comes out. Again, it just feels like such a commitment to learn that. I think that's has to be the hardest sell of this keyboard, isn't the fact that it looks like it's nice quality. In fact, it looks like it's amazing quality. The open source nature of it in almost every single way looks amazing. Love the fact that they have their own custom built case. It comes with all the things you really want to see in a keyboard. I think Kinesis could even learn from this. Having a nice case, despite it does increase the cost of the keyboard, I think is just such a nice experience. What's it called? Glove 80 does that. Glove 80 does this thing where they have this nice custom printed case, and I just think that it's really nice. It's just it just makes me feel like you put more care into it. Right, for those that don't know, I also tried this guy out. There's also another version of this. It's called it starts with let's see, Crazy Keyboard, right? Yeah, this thing. I got this crazy keypad to improve at PC games. I still suck. I'm gonna hit you guys with some knowledge. It's often not the keyboard that's your biggest problem, and it's never been. This thing's actually pretty cool because there's a button right here, button there, so you can kind of just right? It's pretty cool. What is this thing called? The Azeron. The Azeron Cyborg keyboard thing. Look at that. It even has a little joystick on it, which is...
It's amazing to see more 3D input devices being released. And I don't see a device like this as competition. So the way I see it, the main competition really is QWERTY. I mean, 99.9999% of people on the planet are using that. And whenever more 3D input devices, and more are coming, and many new ones have been released since the advent of Caracorder, and it's people start to ask the question not if I should switch to a 3D input device, but they start to ask which 3D input device should I try. And the advantages of 3D input are just so outrageously greater than 1D input that it's sort of a rising tide raises all boats type of scenario. So I'm very supportive of Azeron and other 3D input devices, and I'm even consider myself involved in some of their communities. So I support those projects the best that I can. I would love to see some of those projects powered by Caracorder Engine, and yeah, I don't think that. Business in general is not a zero-sum game. There's not one winner and a bunch of losers. I think that working together, we can accomplish a lot more rather than as individuals trying to take on QWERTY by ourselves.
Which is actually pretty based to have a little joystick on there, because often movement in a game is really nice when it comes to a joystick, because you can subtly move to one side, which is an impossible movement on a keyboard. So the fact that it has a joystick plus keys gives you this really cool.
Check out the Hall effect, better than Hall effect ? Video I put out on the switch technology inside the Master Forge to see why I disagree with that.
Really cool experience. Anywho, cool keyboard. Part of me would love to do that. Part of me would want to go forward and learn one of those keyboards. The amount of ads on that side is atrocious. Yeah, I've already talked about my opinions on AdBlock and why I don't personally have one. Now, I'm not telling you guys you should or should not have one. I'm just very obvious why I don't have one. All right. Anyways, hey, the name is the Primeagen.
All right. Overall, that was very positive video. So thank you, Primeagen, for featuring us. I appreciate that. Regardless, if you end up liking our product, or if some partnership does end up working out, I'm optimistic, obviously, that that we are able to at the minimum send you a device, no strings attached, for free. But yeah, that's it. That is the full reaction. This is week 30 something still, I think, of K-Recorder videos every week until the whole world can type at the speed of thought. I'll probably post another video today. We'll see if I get there or not. But thanks for watching. And if you haven't checked out our Kickstarter campaign, it is now at 4,000% funded. So thank you to everybody who's backed. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your support. The largest campaign we've ever had to date was only 100,000. So this is a very big step up, and there's still 20 days left. We'll keep pushing that forward. We got more production updates coming soon on how the Master Forge is moving along. It's way further along than any other product we've ever put on Kickstarter, and planning to start shipping these very soon, with hand deliveries happening on November 20th at QuarterCon. All right, that's enough. That was a kind of long-winded closing, so I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.